How you doing today, Mr. James Graham?
I'm good. How you all doing?
Doing all right. Thank you for coming to our interview. Well, thank you for having us in your home for the Starkville Civil Rights Project.
Thank you all for coming.
All right. Now I'm Dahlia Hurd, and I have Hillary Richardson with me. All right. So, where are you from, Mr. James Graham?
Original, a native,
Yeah.
uh, Washington County, Mississippi.
When is your birthday?
My birthday is July 28, 1945.
Okay. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I do. I have one brother, two sisters. No, I'm sorry. I have two brothers and two sisters.
What was growing up in Washington County like?
Well, I didn't exactly grow up there. I was about maybe 6 years old when I left, but my remembrance of it was very rough. It was kind of like plantation.
What do you mean by like plantation?
What do I mean by like a plantation? Okay, if you were a black person, you were modern day slave.
And as a 6-year-old, you had to experience that?
Oh yeah, I worked.
Could you tell us about your mother and father?
Yes, they were farmers. They moved around from place to place. My father was a native of Hind County, Jackson. My mother was from Webster County. Well, we moved to Jackson and stayed, I guess, 8 years from Washington County, Mississippi. We went to Hinds County, and we lived there for a while. Well, he was a construction worker in Jackson. So my mother's parents lived out here. So they moved back here to Oktibbeha County, and we lived here for, I guess, 5 or 6 years, and moved back to Greenfield. We lived in Greenfield for a couple of years, and then after a couple of years, we moved back here, and I've been here since. I grew up on farm land. After the farm, I took a job as a truck driver, and I retired as a truck driver. But first of all, before I took the job as a truck driver, I'm sorry, I was a freedom worker. During the 60s, I worked the voter registration field, so I was somewhat in voter registration for maybe 10 years. I got a lot of people around here to go register to vote. And then we had a lot of problems with what we would call Jim Crow. They was worried about how I lived and what I would do and stuff like that, and they figured that I couldn't live here, but which I had planned not to stay here, but some guys made me a promise if I came back home to stay, I wouldn't live to see a natural death. So I decided I would come back and do my work here. And that's what I've done. Whatever came up and was needed to be helped, I always gave a helping hand. So I met Ron and Bill Lights in 1963, the latter part of 1963. And we were freedom workers during 1964. And I think Ron left the early part of 65, Ron Bridgeford. He went back to California. Bill Lights, he left, went to California. Ron Carbon left and went to Boston. So it left me. And after that, I continued what we were doing. until late 1973, probably 1973. And then I took a truck driving job because I couldn't take a job here and work public unless somebody probably heard me somewhere. 'Cause they was out there looking, and I was just a normal person. You know what that means. If you I can say this: if you're a black person and you're here, you better be very careful if you're doing something that seems to be helpful to the black person. Even though now not only white people, black people will hurt you too. Because I had just as many enemies in the blacks as I did white. And some people probably wouldn't understand it, but it's only envy. And I understood that. It was jealousy. So what I would do when I came home, I came home during the day. And I didn't go out after dark. Because I know anything could happen. You know, what do happens. And we were looking at Medgar Evers' case. He came home middle of the night and that could kill him, right? So it's possible it can still happen. So you don't really fear, but you must be careful.
Can you talk about your time as a freedom worker?
Yes, I can.
And if you remember any specific memories about things that happened to you or things that you did for people?
Yeah, I do. I remember. I have been caught up in a lot of marches and probably hurt, but not a way that I should tell. But here I am the day I went back home to Macon. The people was doing our people bad wrong, and we set up a march, and we marched in Macon. That was no problem. But 3 weeks later, I went back to Macon, and I got jumped by 5 guys. And to me, they beat me up, but to the people, they said they didn't beat me up. Well, I didn't run from them, but then I wasn't really defending myself. I was doing what we was taught to do in the movement. That's making sure I protect the parts of me to keep from getting hurt. And well, at the time I was kind of a big guy. You know, it's hard to handle a big person if he can handle himself well. So I didn't hit nobody, but I threw a few people across the yard for a while, and they let me alone. I can tell you, start from. Do y'all know anything about Chestine, the Derby? Okay, put signs out to 82 Highway. It's right there from the University Motel. They put signs out in highways. Niggers, stay away. White on.
Is this on Martin Luther King Drive,
Well,
the restaurant in Derby? Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That
Okay.
is. Okay, a bunch of us, which was teenagers, we got together and formed a group, and we marched up to his place, and we went in and sat down and talked a while. Well, the only way they would serve us food, if they were serving us a Coke or something, they wanted to take the Coke in the back of the cafe and open it and bring it to us, so we paid for the stuff that we didn't eat. So we went there 3 or 4 times, and he stopped being so prejudiced. He welcomed us to come to his place. We had problems with the police department in Starkville. Chief Joseph was the main person. We had bad problems with him all the time. But do I need to go back and tell you where this started? but somebody go on, I can do something. Oh, he.
Hi.
Alright.
Good, how are you?
Excuse me, that's my grandson.
Hi. Are you a student at State?
I don't know, man. Asking her.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
This is-
recording.
Yeah. I remember walking the streets midday, and Chief Joseph came up and arrested 2 or 3 of us for being disorderly. You know, Ron Carvin's dad came down from Boston visiting and let me roll in the front seat of his car. And then he was being disorderly, he was reckless driving, and resisting arrest, and whatever. They put 4 or 5 of us in jail. And Ron, I think they put him in jail too because he came raising saying about his daddy. And so they put about 5 or 6 of us in jail total.
Do you remember what year this happened? They put you guys.
1964. Yeah, 1964.
You mentioned earlier that y'all were taught how to behave. Can you tell me who taught you this and when?
Well, being honest, we watched films and we taught each other how to behave, how to accept being nonviolent. We could not be a violent team and have won this race. There was no way. And I must say, without white people, we couldn't have won it anyway. It wouldn't be like it is now. Before white people started to join the movement, well, we could say the civil rights movement, and really be participating like we were badly mistreated. But after they learned that really the young white women, a few of them maybe got hurt in marches and stuff, the government stepped in. And once the government stepped in, then everything started smoothing out. After that, we got to the place we could go into an all-white place and sit down and eat a meal or whatever, you know, just be comfortable. But before that, there was no way.
How did that make you feel that?
How do it make me feel?
Yeah.
Well, being honest with you, I really expected this. I mean, I wouldn't have been there if I hadn't have expected it. But one thing I didn't expect, I didn't expect so many white people to join the black race. We was treated like people in certain places. And in certain places we were treated like slaves. But we had Jim Crow, well, so was the honest man. And then, you know, before as you are looking at people, you can't judge a person by his look. Because the worstest person in the world could look the best. And then the best person in the world could look the worst. And it was just that way. And I was in that Selma March, Bloody Sunday. And that, John Lewis told us when we started, y'all expect whatever happened, you expect it. I mean, there's nothing impossible here. All things are possible. When we started, we had a prayer before we got to the bridge. We had a prayer after we got to the bridge. And then just before we got to the, I call it the police department. Just before we got to the police department, he said a little prayer. And I was a sergeant of arms. It's strange to say this. I was walking on the outside almost at the front of the crowd. Nobody tapped me. I mean, police, they were passing me. They're like, people running, and they were running, catching the one that were running, beating on them. But like me, I was standing there looking at them. They never bothered me. And when we walked on again, we walked on again. The only thing I got was washed away by a water hose. Further than anybody tell you, but we can't tell you everything that happened. It was too fast. And it was just opposite to what we thought it would be. So now we knew that they were there to hurt us. But then we thought more people would get hurt. There was a lot of us got hurt, but then not as many as we thought. So we were just there doing God's will, put it like that. Because you can't make it just man. We were only doing the will of God. God said if we live right, He would protect us. And I think that's what happened. No, I know that's what happened. Put it that way. For my doing, I mean, it's been so long, there's a lot of things I could tell you, but I forgot it. I really have. I could tell you that I was there in the movement because of some things happened to me as a young person, growing up. We could be home and somebody called, we get a job, we work all day long and get off work, and more likely they'd drop you off in town. They wouldn't take you back home. And we start walking to go home. Policeman walk up, drive upside and ask you, hey boy, yes sir, where you going? I'm going home. Well, hurry up and get there. All right? I'm speaking to Mabel now. White guys would be standing out there half drunk, drinking beer, yelling and having fun, and they wouldn't pay any bit of attention. But they were looking for us. And if one of us walked and stand on that corner, he would go to jail. Come on, you're under arrest. You're disturbing the peace, or you might be, involved in some type of crime. And then you don't have a lawyer, you don't have no kind of defense. You're just there.
Could you tell us a little bit more about your voter registration here in Starkville? Okay.
We had a lot of real scared people in Starkville, too. But now we also had a lot of good people here in Starkville. Had nerves enough to help you out and join you. I worked for restoration from Starkville back west. And I would say a third of the people was going to register, getting ready for, whatever. But the 2/3 was afraid of what might happen to them. Excuse me. But the funny part I saw of this, they owned their own land. They had whatever everybody else had, but they was only going by what Mr. So-and-so told them not to do. And they wasn't allowed to do very much. I was walking one day, I remember this. I was walking down 82. I had let some guys drop me off, and I was distributing some material for restoration. And there was a lady sitting out on a porch. She was talking to a friend of her. And she told her friend, I tell you what, I don't want him to come to my place. Will you walk out there and meet him on the highway and get the paper? And if anybody said I was involved, I could tell them that I wasn't there, that he just sent the paper to my house. And he walked right out there and stood there and talked to me and told me the guy that done that, his name was John Jeremy. Now he's still alive. He living over in South Creek. But we have really had some problems with voter registration in these parts. Now, there's still a lot of people that still this part of the country that are not registered to vote. So we worked and we made little progress, but I can tell you it's a lot more to be done. Yeah, I know. And a person my age, not very much you can do. 'Cause I'm a little old for walking. I'm a little old for visiting, talking to people about stuff, because if I did get attacked, I couldn't defend myself. So I mean, and that's real possible. Because there's lots of people still walk around and tell me, you know these white people don't like you around here. I say, yeah. Come on. Come on in. Oh, we need you.
Yeah, gotcha.
But so far so good. You know what? I don't have anything to say. I feel like that. I love all people, and I will always be that way. Because, I mean, who am I to look at other people different to me? That's not good. They don't speak, y'all?
Hey, how are you?
But for my thinking and doing, I mean, I really see that someday, it'll be different. And yes, I hear people say, I didn't think it would ever be a black president. I did. That's why I was out there doing the civil rights time. But I felt like if one race of people could be president, then another race could be. That means if you're smart enough, anybody can do almost what they want to. There's a lot of things we'd be stopped with, but then there's a lot of things you cannot be stopped by, because we have people like you all. And the majority win in voting, right? So that's what it should be. And I figured if it was that way and enough people were registered to vote, then times would change. And it has. Not enough, but it has. And we can still see prejudice. I mean, it's not only for the white either. We have prejudice of black people. But we know it's going to always be that way. But then we could at least have more respect for each other.
Would you say that Maben, where you live now and where you grew up and worked, and Starkville were similar in their treatment of people and their the way that they did things in public, or are they more different because for whatever reason?
Now, yeah, they're similar. And been similar. Starkville at one point was smarter than Maben. They would do their thing, but they would do it undercover.
Can you
And
elaborate
Maben-
on that?
Yeah. You go to Maben and you decide to do something, it was as a small town. You just use this fence. I could sit here as a 69-year-old man. I go up there and try to make a loan from the bank. They would find some reason to not give me the loan. I could go back out there and get a white boy that just graduated high school and send him in that the same loan I tried to make, he could make it. We've done it.
You did.
We
You
have.
did that experiment
I have done it.
in
Yes,
Starkville
maybe.
and Maben, but you think that it would be different in Starkville?
I really don't know. I better not put it that way, because I never done business in Starkville that much until after I was retired.
What year did you retire?
2005.
Okay,
2
2005.
years ago.
So 10 years ago.
I had some friends. Well, I used to be a truck driver, but then I had a lot of business with the schools. Even though I worked for the school district for a while, just kind of like, I don't know, what you call parenting children. Because I was done more than mentoring. I was watching children. You know, if a child seemed like he was kind of getting out of hand, I would call them all. We just talk. Teacher would let me do it. We just be there. And I drove a school bus my off time from truck driving. I would drive a school bus so I could be around the children and talk to them. Well, white, well as black, they listen. And I was going to go in business, trucking company. And one of the young guys, he talking and going on, I was telling him his daddy was a well-known man. He said, Mr. Graham, I said, why don't you go up to the bank and see if you can't borrow money? I'll show you some trucks you can buy. I said, okay. We went to the bank. He stood outside. I was going to borrow, I believe, $5,000 to buy 2 trucks. The trucks were in good shape. The bank president came and we had a talk. He said, well, I just can't see how I can get you out of money. Let me ask you something. I said, what you got for collateral? I said, the 2 trucks, they better than $5,000. He said, well, see, that's a moving vehicle. I got to have something stable. I said, well, I don't have that. And we went on. He wouldn't let me have it. So me and the guy went back out there. He said, I tell you what. He said, tomorrow, we coming up here. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to borrow that money. I said, boy, you 20 years old. He said, watch me. It's okay. We went back up there the next day. He went in there, we drove to Tennessee and got the trucks. So what you call that? I mean, I had a job. He didn't even have a job. So what would we call it? That's being prejudiced, right? But he was using me, and I was like, I know I was 40-something years old. And this young man was 20 years old. And the funny part, he didn't go to college. He was just out there doing stuff. But they let him have the $5,000 without worrying. Because I went to Tennessee with him and drove one truck back for him. Now, it's a thing about that. I could have sued him. But that wouldn't solve nothing. It probably gave me a lot of money, but then I might have got hurt some way by somebody else. I don't think it's nice to hurt people if you don't want to be hurt.
Do you remember anything, either Starkville or Maven, about school desegregation?
Yeah,
Can you talk a little bit about your memories from that?
yes I can. I took the first black to Maven School for integration. He deceased in September of last year. He had an accident. Walter Larry Bell. The second one I took Commons. I gotta think his name. I know his last, well, his last name, we would say, was a Commons. I saw him about 2 weeks ago. But anyway, the first 2 blacks that went there, I took them to school. Larry Bell, I was told that when we got there, they were going to shoot us on sight. I said, well, when we drove up there, they greeted us. guy, they shook our hands and went away. But I talked with a guy yesterday, and he told me so they treated Larry real bad in school. This was another black guy that started right after Don Gibson. I guess they call her name. But anyway, yeah, I know a lot about Maven School University.
Do you remember what year or what years?
1968, I believe.
1968.
1968.
For both kids?
Yes.
1968. Was it high school or elementary?
High school.
High school.
If I'm thinking, one of them started in elementary, but the high school and elementary were together.
Oh,
The other one started in high school. Larry started in elementary. Cummings started in high school. What was the name, Lord? I can't think of the name for nothing. But I remember Walterville because of all the time we had.
You said that somebody told you you would be shot on sight. Do you
Yeah.
remember who told you or how you found out?
They sent word. They was trying to just put up a front bluff. They figured if they said they would shoot me, then I wouldn't show up. I mean, back in the days, people were not that bad. They wanted to, I don't know what you call it, but they wanted to scare you. If you scared enough, words are stronger than a lick if you're scared enough. But they just wanted to show us who was dominant. That's if you put it that way. And not being smart when I say this, but what it was back in the days, white men just wanted to be dominant male. It was just like a pride or something. You know what I'm saying? It was always one there that was just the boss. And what he said went on. Well, and then after that, if you had no competition, you'd walk up and slap a person anyway. And they could walk in a crowd of us and slap, kick, whatever you want to do. And all we done was just accept it. Have not done a thing, but if it hit you, the first thing come out, yes. Why would you use the word yes, sir, when a person beating on you? That's what's going on down here. Like I say, I still think of all people the same. I don't have no animosity against none of them. So it just, I guess it was just that way. In that time, the only thing I can see, and I'll put this anyway, I don't understand our folk painters. I don't know how the black race people could have stood around and took such a beating and went on. We're like atomics, I guess. We took a naked and kept on ticking. I just don't, I don't understand it. And I'm really glad that we came along later. Because if we hadn't, I would have been the one that didn't make it.
I think there's a particular incident that Hillary would like to ask you about.
You may have mentioned it already, but maybe it was Mr. Carver or Mr. Bridgeforth let you ride in his car.
Carver.
And they were freedom volunteers, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And was there something about some car followed you?
What they done, Ron Carver's dad came from Boston to visit. And he came up to the house where we were living. We called it the Butler House on the hill. And they saw the car up there all day. So everybody wanted to go out to dinner that night. And he and I, we talked a lot, all the time. They were on the phone and all the rest of the place. So he wanted me to ride with him. And I said, if I ride with you, it's gonna cause you trouble. He said, oh no, he won't cause me trouble.
Was he a white man?
He was a white man. But anyway, that's back. She got it back there. Anyway, I got in the car with him. It was me and a couple of more young men. But anyway, I was in the front. There was some white guys in the back. And he was driving, we went on downtown. The jail, you know what, the county jail is in stuff. All right, right there. We made a left turn. When we made a left turn, noticed the cop was following real close. And he stopped. We was already at the jail. And when he stopped the car, it was 4 or 5 police was in the car. Chief Joseph was standing out there in front of the jail. They had a couple of police over there, and they didn't ask no question. They just ran and snatched him out of the car on the ground. And he wanted to know what was going on, why were we being arrested like we were. So they said careless driving. They say he was careless driving, and it was a lot of stuff. And well, it took us all to jail. They said we was disorderly. They got some of us for disorderly conduct. They got some of us for just, I don't know, just being there. But we all went to jail. And after Ron come up there and got involved, they throwed him in jail. And after a little while, they came and let us out. And today, I still don't know what happened, but they just came and turned us out. They might have got, and then I think Ron's daddy was a representative in Boston. And I think they kind of might have got him in with that, so they came and turned us out. But, man, no. Well, let me tell you this. They were paying young black men to go out and fight people like us. It was a service station. That's why Steve didn't come to that concert, comfort. That's why Steve didn't come to the comfort. It was a service station. We come off Boulder Hill, turn left, and the service station sitting right over there to the right. A fellow named Aaron Devine. A guy gave him $2 and a hose pipe. And Steve walking down the road. He just went out there and started whooping Steve with that hose pipe. And Steve took the hose pipe from him. And if we hadn't got there, he would have whooped him to death. Steve whooped that fellow. You think I'm joking? When we stopped him, that fellow couldn't get her. And Steve left and went back to New York. Said, we're going to stay here. Nobody killing him. And then when we told him about the comfort, Ron called him and told him he was going to visit his mom and dad. And Ron wanted to know why. He said, probably Mississippi hadn't changed.
Do you think it's
It had.
changed?
It changed. I know it had. There's my little girl. She goes to school with white children. That big one left. He went to school with white children. Well, he could have been playing pro football. He didn't want to. And I don't know why. I was just went 1 year. I took that. When they accepted immigration, things changed then. The reason they changed, I think the Jim Crow was afraid they'd hurt their families if they done things at school they shouldn't have done. You know what I'm saying? Like the bombs and things, because they were bad about doing it. Now, Maven School got burnt down twice. That's why it's the newest school in the county. And I think it's about 35 years old.
Was it burned down for
They say
accident or
they
reason?
say it was an accident.
Okay.
That's not true.
What year was it burned?
Now you got it.
Mhm.
Probably 1969.
1969.
Yeah, I think so now. I'm not sure. But somewhere in that area. That was the first time. The second time was 72, I 72.
Did you go to school, high school, or middle school in this area?
Yeah, but it was segregated.
Can you tell us about going to high school in this area? Do you remember where did you go to high school first?
I went to Maven.
Okay.
I wasn't counted as a person. That's one thing. That's number one. My people's are McBrides. And McBrides have always been mean people. That was the thing was out. If you walked around and they looked at you, there go one of them old McBrides. And you were looking at a dangerous person. But it happened because of them defending themselves. Regardless to what, they was going to defend themselves. But then one of my great uncles, my granddad's brother, I believe, his wife was having an affair, and he was working out of town, and he knew about it. And he came home for some reason, and his wife and the man was in the car. Put a chain around the car and chained him in, poured gasoline on him, set him on fire. And that kicked the McBride. So we still paying for it.
So when you were in high school in Maven and the segregated part of the school, did you participate in any?
Yeah,
freedom?
I played football.
Oh, okay. We heard from a couple other people that we talked to. They said that mostly high schoolers were not involved in any of the protests or the freedom.
They wouldn't be.
school,
They wouldn't.
That mostly it was adults, but you said that
They was afraid. You know, if you're scared of something, you don't know what goes on. I mean, most of the people you see now, they'll accept what has been done. But it was very few that was involved. I can tell you one person, he was not that was he was really involved with the movement in Maven. G.W. Gates. Now one of his brothers got sick. He lived in Arkansas. And he probably saved his life. He went to Arkansas, and when he got back, people had shut his house off. I mean, the front door, it didn't have a front door. They shut the whole door out. Now he's still up there. Old man, but he's still there. And I don't think he thinks very well. I think he got Alzheimer's. But G.W. was a real guy in the movie. When I came to Maven and I needed to bring news, that's who I took it to. I let him know what was going on, and he would take it with him.
Did you ever get a chance to work with Dr. Connor?
Yeah. Dr. Connor was one I supported. Dr. Connor was not a field worker. This Dr. Connor was a doctor. That means you know he was going to get more more insight than we would anyway. But Dr. Connor was the doctor. What he done was he supported the movement. Another fellow, Juk Forsyth, he was a supporter. Carl Hudson, he was a supporter. Mullen Brothers used to be selling, dry goods store, ran dry goods store. The Mullen Brothers, now these were white people, the Mullen Brothers were. But the way they supported us, when I came home, I would go like I was going to buy a suit or whatever. And whatever I need, I got it. And we would have, so we could live. But okay, that was a guy, teacher, professor out of Mississippi State. He supported us too. John Davis. Now he was from California. We had lots of support. And today's been too long. I can't tell you who all, but I can tell a few names. There was a young person from West Point, David Bones. David, he supported us until his family found out about it, and then they ran him off. He moved to California. We had a lot of support, but now Dr. Connor never was a field worker. He was in the meeting when we were there, and he was doing what he could to help us, which Juk Forsyth was the same. John Davis, when he got a chance to get away from the state out there, and state was segregated too. Dr. Connor's son, Richard, what's his name? What is Richard's name?
Holmes?
Richard Holmes. Richard Holmes, okay. We were there with them too. Richard went to school in California first, didn't he?
Texas, maybe?
Texas. Okay, he went to school in Texas first. Then he came back to state. Now we had a lot of guys that worked with the movement that had already went to state, but wasn't recognized. So they say Richard was the first black out there, right? That's what they said then. There were a lot of guys. If Warren was living, he just passed away maybe 2-3 months ago. Robert Kemp, we called him Moon. Robert Kemp went to state, and they drafted him, and he went to Vietnam from state. Robert Williams was at the state. They drafted him. He went to Vietnam. Now he got killed in Vietnam. Leslie Ward, I think Leslie went to state. He went out there and they drafted him, and he got killed in Vietnam. And let me just say it like this. The prejudice part looked like they were picking names. If they knew that a guy was going to school, well, if they knew he was going to college out there, then he got drafted. That was stopping progress anywhere you go. Because in our education department, they were stopping. There was a lot of guys left Starkville and went to Vietnam. And a lot of them didn't come back. I called myself getting ready for y'all, but I wasn't ready. Well, everything I had in mind, I guess I forgot.
Did you know anybody or did you yourself do anything with the area NAACP chapter?
I didn't do anything. But my mother, she's deceased. She did. Mama was with NAACP a long time. And Mama was also a Mason. So, if you don't understand, that people don't understand, it's hard to know what's going on. So, Mama, she was kind of like what we would call our boss. That's where we got our information from, and that's where we done our things with. And she just kept us in order.
What was your mother's name?
Laura,
Was
Laura,
Laura?
L-O-R-A.
Oh, Laura. That's nice.
There she sit over there, that gray-haired lady,
Is her last name Graham as well?
Graham. That's
So you pull a lot of your background from your mom. The reason why you're so actively into.
Yep.
You said her parents were from this area?
My mother's band.
Mm-hmm.
Minty. Minty.
Okay. From Manti? Did you know your grandparents here?
Yeah. Annabelle Ross, Jerry McBride.
Can you talk about them a little bit? Did you know them very well, or were they around?
I knew them very well. Just a family of poor people.
But rich in love.
Richard Love. Yes, ma'am.
Well, you talked a lot about fear and people being scared and doing things undercover. And we've heard a lot about that in Starkville, but not a lot of violence, not a lot of like outright violence. Does that sound like what you remember, or do you remember something different?
I remember like that. But one more thing that during our times, I mean, for people getting hurt and going about, we didn't want to ride. We did not. You can't do business riding. You have to do business the mountable way. Then you have to understand that, you know, regardless to who a person is, they can live a life if you think right. But now if you're just out there looking, we call it a humbug, to be a humbug, and anything can happen to you. And we weren't looking for anything to happen. We were trying to do a lifetime thing. And that means if you, like Martin Luther King said, if you're going to be free, then you must fight for freedom only. So now you can't go out here and say, I want this to happen, I want this to happen, and then you just make it happen. You know, you can't force a person to do nothing. Today, I don't understand riding. I've never been in a ride, and I wouldn't get in one. Because if you get hurt in a ride, it's all your fault. Right or wrong. There's no need in the world to add to a problem. Because that's what really it is. If I just got hurt out here, you go back and get a crowd and say, well, we're going to go tear this place up. Then it may be your place. And who's going to rebuild it? We have to think before we do. No, I've never been in a ride. I don't believe in riding. And even though people were scared to do the things that should have been done, I didn't fall down. Because everybody can't be the same. I mean, me, I never let anything bother me. I just leave. Tell you like I tell the guys in the street. When God gave me the day of birth, He already had my number of death. He did, didn't He? Because now that's one thing, you can only live when God said live, and then you can only die when He said die. That's it. So why would I be afraid? And then he even wrote in the Bible, fear no man. And being honest with you, I have tried to, but I just don't fit people. It just don't work.